Hello, everybody, and welcome back. You know what? I I'm kind of at my wits' end each time I come back to the game, just because I feel like the feedback from the community seems to never reach the ears of Wargaming. So I asked on Discord today. I asked for like give me a couple ideas on what I should mention inside the video today, and honestly, I have a couple things up there. This is what this crunchy was. But a couple of things that was brought up today that, yeah, I completely agree. For instance, Puddle, I love this dude. He's a really cool guy. I need to play with him a little bit more often than I do now. But unfortunately for me, Xbox doesn't seem to want to work in my PC at the moment. I have to completely redo my Windows install or refresh something and redo my entire thing. It's gonna be fun. But enough of that. Puddle, he mentioned over in Discord, saying Wargaming constantly takes away things loyal player base wants and simultaneously gives them things they don't want, which I completely agree 100%. The fact is that you had a loyal player base in the game for years and years and years. And over the past 4 to 5 years, that loyal player base has slowly started to deteriorate into a ton of newer people coming in that are being forced in the Cold War, that are being uh, forced to do something else. And then, for instance, Clone Guy, he put up a video um, earlier today that after watching it, he was talking about the toxic tanks being brought up, for instance, where he was talking about the 7 most toxic tanks. And for instance, the list right here, and artillery was on this list, but he had a list on here earlier, I believe, or I'm just blind as all hell and I can't seem to find it. But inside this, more broken than the AVRE. This must be the review, so I'm looking at the wrong one. This tank will be bad. Coming over 7 toxic tanks, and the part that makes me giggle about this is that whenever I look at this, you have the Vigilant, the Regal Dorn, the Panzer 5-4, and then the Roofless inside this lineup here, along with the Centurion AVRE and then the Tyran. And Clone Guy, dude, if you need replays in the Tyran, feel free to use my account for in terms of using it for content, not to play on a normal basis. But if you need to play the Tyran, feel free to use my account to get a couple of replays on the Tyran, or I can play the Tyran for a little while to provide you those replays. Which, if that's what you want to do instead, then get a hold of me. It's super easy to get a hold of me. We're in the same Discord. I should probably just put the message in Discord. But I completely agree on the Centurion being number 1 for the most toxic. The game has shuffled over the past couple of years, and for instance, those tanks, if we were to go back to my channel, the most recent tank in this list, Panzer 5-4, that's been in the game for a long time. But the one that started it all is the AVRE. And the AVRE released, I would say, April 5th, 2022. So whenever it comes down to it, we're currently in November, and April was about October, September, August, July, June, May, April. Brain fart. So about 2 years and 8 months ago, almost 3 years. So we can get an estimation on a 3-year period, whenever it comes down to it, for how long they have been adding in tanks that people don't really want to see, along with them buffing tanks in the wrong categories. For instance, like the little American buff that we had a little while ago. I kind of don't feel like the Americans needed the damage bump. The same thing about the Germans. I don't feel like the Germans needed the damage increase either. There's a lot of other things that could have been done better, but it doesn't seem like Wargaming takes feedback anymore. Same thing about like the CC program or any of the CCs. In all honesty, like I play World of Tanks, I make content on World of Tanks, I watch quite a bit of content on World of Tanks. But whenever you come over to my YouTube tab and you actually take a look at my recents, I mean, Dez pops up a lot of the other Asmongold. I watch movies on here. And then as I scroll down, you're going to notice that it's news, Torkov. My search history has completely changed. So far, 2 videos from World of Tanks, and this is me scrolling quite a bit. 3 videos because I was catching up on Space Bandit and looking around for a couple more replays showing off the Vigilant. And Chaos, I just want to throw this out there. Thank you for gifting me the Vigilant. I'll make sure to put some matches in this and actually put a little bit of a detailed review out. And then here's some more Clone Guy E75 working on the Super Tiger. Yeah, dude. I don't disagree. The E75 is an absolute monster. But each time these newer games are released, speaking of which, so just a moment, I'm going to pop this into a new tab because I love Area 51. I own the original game disc, but I don't own my original Xbox. And I want to play it. But currently, each time one of these new tanks come out, for instance, the Vigilance, the T249 Black, that came out. I'm happy it's a black tank. That means it's only going to be obtainable for like a week out of the entire year. And then whoever has it, they're going to be able to show it off. And then the next time it comes around, you're going to have a lot more cancer popping up for absolutely no reason whatsoever because it's going to be coming around multiple times. In my eyes, I feel like this tank was never tested to see if this is what they wanted to bring into the game. It's either it was tested and the feedback that was provided was laughed at, and Wargaming simply said, well, we already made the model for it. We already built the entire thing. We already have statistics and everything else for it. And we really want money because we need to pay our employees. We need to make sure that everyone is taken care of inside our little get-together, our little fiasco inside this area. So we're going to pump this out whether the player base likes it or not because we need income. And I get that. I understand that. You put in the work and you want to pump it out. However, whenever the UI has been updated for the 22nd time in the course of 2 years, there's kind of a problem there. At least it feels like that. Not just that, but seasonal content. I don't feel value in any of these seasons other than tanks. For instance, I don't play Cold War. You know, you have a split community whenever it comes down to Cold War and World War II. This is the split community. This is the tank I cared about entirely. You know, more than me seeing this and going, yeah, I kind of don't really give a yeah, I didn't move my mouth, but I hit the button. But this is the problem, that they're adding in all this stuff and they're kind of just telling us, accept it, deal with it. You know, and then another cancer tank being released in the same season pass to Panzerjäger, but we've kind of adapted to this and we're kind of used to it now. I wouldn't say the Panzerjäger is super, super duper broken compared to everything else that they've added inside the game, but it is super obnoxious. Cool giveaway, the Loza M4A2 Sherman, literally the worst premium Sherman in the game, statistically speaking. This is the worst variant to play. Like, no one plays this one. If you want to give one out, give away a Thunderbolt. Or make the one that people actually want. Make us a tier 8 super Sherman. Like, take the base Sherman model, give it a 76, give us like 205 millimeters of penetration on the standard round 76, bump its damage up to, let's say, 200, give us a 4.5 second, 5 second reload. Even if it's worst in category at 200 damage, people will still pay for it. People will still play it because guess what? It's an iconic tank. And I would love to see it pop in the game with 180 millimeters of frontal armor and 45 to 42 millimeters of side armor to help stop the 122s from overmatching it, but not make it godlike. So I played a little bit of the Vigilant, and I was absolutely blown away by what I was watching on this tank. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. We're going to jump in, and I got a little bit aggressive here, so this is a little bit past the point of going a little bit too far. But right here, pulling in, you know, Vigilant sees Vigilant. 7 seconds left in the reload. I'm up to 515 damage. I shot the Waffle as he was crossing, and I caught him out a little bit just to be a little bit of a nuisance. And I guess that's assist damage, not the spot damage. So I guess I backed off, and this is actually a different section of the replay, but I killed another Vigilant right before this. I have 2 separate replays for this because I use a little shadow capture that I have on OBS setup. Records up to 17 minutes. But right here, I'm being nice and patient, you know. There's no point in clipping out or doing anything. I'll fast forward a little bit. I put a couple of shots inside here trying to catch out the... He comes in, he shoots through one of the spaced armor pieces, and like 2 seconds, he is gone. 2.5 seconds. He was only able to get 1 shot off in his interclip. He got 1 more shell in. So he was only able to get off 2 shots before I completely wiped him. And then I get pushed by the Sheridan. Now, I have issues whenever a tank that is supposed to be scary is no longer scary. For instance, the Terran. The Terran makes some tanks that are originally scary turn into absolute muppets that you can laugh at. Not to mention, you know, there's 16 days left in the season pass, and I completed my season pass within 90 battles. Yeah, I got out all the way to 100 within 90 battles. And whenever I look at a tank like this, you're getting a lot of penetrations inside this tank. And there's going to be challenges that come out for penetrations. That is all like achieve 200 penetrations, play 1 match inside this tank. That challenge is already done for the week. So it's like you pay for something that's going to be providing this really overwhelming advantage compared to anything else. And that's kind of what this is going to be turning into. Fast forward this, jump into the secondary match here. And this one, we're going to watch the whole match. But as we're watching it, I want to chit chat a little bit. But I am to the point to where I believe Wargaming doesn't listen to player feedback, and player feedback simply does not exist to them. It is getting so bad that they're adding in tanks that we essentially do not want inside the game. They're buffing tanks that don't need buffs. They're completely ignoring the hanging fish on the wall that's rotting and just completely pointless to be there still, that you should have gutted the thing and threw it out months ago, but they're just letting it rot. For instance, like the Italians, you know, we have all this new stuff in that's completely shredding them. And the Passante C45, that thing needs some love, and they're completely ignoring it. Same thing goes for quite a few tanks inside the lineup. The E75TS, people have been asking for a little bit of a rework on that tank. I don't know what the statistics say, but I'll tell you what my statistics of the tank says. Very specific people play it. Those very specific people that play it is really bad to watch. Now, inside this match, you know, boom, immediately half health, 643 damage. Like, that is ridiculous. Not just that, as I was playing inside this match, I didn't realize how many bots were inside this game. To me, this is about the time that I would play a normal on an average weekday for me. Whenever I go to work and I come home, this is the time that I play. So this match, I'll be able to take a look at the time at the very end of the match, because it will tell me the exact time I played this game. At least I hope it'll tell me the time I played it. They used to have that in the replay system, but I don't know what they do anymore. Speaking of the replay system, have any of you guys actually tried to watch a replay? They have completely slaughtered the replay system rather than improving it. Completely slaughtered. It's almost unusable now compared to what it was prior. I tried to jump in there to look at a couple of things, and they have completely slaughtered the replay system inside this game, making it damn near unusable. And to me, that is just, it's sad that I don't know if they're overworked. I don't know if they're down people. I don't know what's going on at Wargaming at this point, but I can tell you right now, everything that they're doing is not to benefit the player base anymore. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt years ago, but now that I sit here and look at this, you know, there's a lot of things they don't like us talking about. You know, there's a very large list, and number one in that list that we're not allowed to ever mention, never talk about, is Lord Voldemort. Okay, never bring that up. You'll get banned immediately. You'll be blackmailed. You'll be thrown in the wash. You'll be tossed out a window from like an 80-foot story. Abracadabra. Number two is revert, or mentioning anything based upon the old fashion of the game. The third one, which is kind of skeptical, that I want to say is it did happen because someone showed me a couple of screenshots, but they were unbanned within like, I think it was like 3-4 days, and they claimed it was an accident, but they still banned somebody for talking about ranked, that they want ranked inside the game. You have a community who wants a competitive side of this game, not just comp where it's the same people all the time. We want legitimate competitive. I want legitimate competitive. If real competitive was in this game, I'd play more often. I'd be extremely excited. But revert, that still gets people banned. And a lot of the things is like we have a community who is very silent whenever it comes down to it. Whenever I look over at Discord, it's a lot of younger people that talk inside the Discord, not a lot of the older gents that, you know, I play with and chat with. For instance, Blade, Puddle. Puddle, I don't know how active you are, Puddle, whenever it comes down to using Discord. You've been pretty active since you joined my Discord. But I have this feeling that, you know, I'm a silent type. I've slowly grown into a silent type. I used to be an advocate for, you know, balancing and everything else, and I really tried to reach out and had a really great time chatting with Minto, because I actually got to sit down and chat with our community manager back in the day. But so far, this new community that has slowly popped up, it's in a disarray. The last community liaison that we had, he got fired. That tells you how bad he was. He was fired. Gone. So there's all this stuff going on within Wargaming that it seems like it's in complete disarray. And there's just a lot of problems starting to pop up and very little things that pop up then and there. And this is one of those problems that came in. And whenever I first saw this thing and I did the math on it, 0.2 seconds of a round compared to the 340 rounds per minute that it said it's going to be able to achieve. And then you have 192 inside the clip. Well, whenever you do the math on this, it's really weird. Because once you do the math, as I'm trying to find my calculator, because it's in a really weird spot, calculator. So we have 192 rounds, and then every single 0.2 of a second. So if we take 60, divide it by 0.2, divide by 0.2, take that, we're going to get 300 divided by 0.2. Then you get 192 rounds. So now we're going to take 0.2, we're going to multiply that by 192 equals 38.4 seconds is how long it should take to technically clip out this autocannon at a 0.2 second interval. But we are clipping out much, much faster. So I want to interpret that this is actually a bug on the rate of fire on this gun, and it's currently broken, and they're going to be fixing it. If that is the case, then I need to withhold my review of the tank before I do anything. Because I don't want to pump out my review too fast to get to... You get where I'm going. I don't want to review the tank before it's either rebalanced or fixed compared to where it's supposed to be at rather than where it is at right now. Because where it's at right now is a little bit ridiculous, because you're able to throw off those 192 rounds in like 3 seconds. So something tells me currently it is broken. As you can see, just a little bit broken compared to everything else. And once I got to this back area near their flag is like whenever I realized there's a lot of bots inside this match. And I was like, well, that sucks. So that 38.4 seconds is how long this gun should take to completely clip out. Because at 332 rounds a minute, I believe is what it was saying that the rate of fire is on this thing. Double check. As I'm having a brain fart trying to find it. Yeah, 321 rounds per minute. So I did mine a little bit faster at a 0.2, yeah, well, 0.02 second interclip. Never mind, I'm completely wrong. It's 0.2. I did 0.2. But this is cancer. And it's an AP round that is guaranteed damage on contact. Now, like AP 38X 219, that's probably a flak round because it's got the it's 37X 219. So like 219 could be like maybe the TNT. Well, I don't think that would be the TNT equivalent. 219 grams instead of a 37 millimeter would be obsessive amounts of TNT. So I just let that replay. All right, 3:57 p.m. That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. This is like the high time that you want to play the game. And then whenever we let this continue out and we let it go to the scoreboard, looking at the middle, second class mastery, people are doing work inside this tank. You can easily see there are 4 bots in my team, 4 bots on the enemy team. And those bots are what followed me all the way down to the side. The bots is what I didn't shoot the bots. At least I don't think I shot the bots. I might have shot some of the bots. But the fact is that I don't like bots. A lot of people don't like going against bots. We have a game mode that is specifically for bots right here, co-op. You can play co-op right here to go against bots. Not a lot of us. I just clicked A. Why did I click A? If I load into a match, I'm just going to quit out. I don't even care. But it's just, I don't know what they're doing. I hope this tank is a mistake in the way that it's outputting damage, because in a team coordination situation, this tank would become the number 1. For instance, let's say you take out an IS-7 or you take out like a 5A, a WZ-111 5A or IS-7 or even 705A, and you kind of play aggressive. You know, you get the attention, you draw them out, and then you got a platoon buddy that's sitting inside the Vigilante and he pops out and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing, man? Oh, you're not allowed to be here." And he completely rapes you in the rear. For instance, whenever they release broken tanks like this, I kind of end up in a mood to where it's like, I don't feel like I'm able to play my Patton. I don't feel like I'm able to play my M60. At the moment, I seriously don't feel like I'm able to play my M60 because this thing's only got 35 millimeters under armor and then 63 millimeter side armor. And then don't even get me started about the rear end of this thing, 25 millimeters. The top armor, well, it's going to be 35. So 105s and beyond. But the difference is like, this is not fun at all because you have people that aren't going to be able to afford this tank. And then the guys that do buy this tank, guess what they're doing? They're ruining your day. You are someone who is all like, "Oh, they buffed the grill. Oh, I'm so excited that they buffed the grill. I'm going to play my grill. I'm going to pull this out into a couple of matches. I'm going to have an absolute ball." And you realize your thickest armor is 35 millimeters. You're not going to stand a chance against that little light tank that is going to outspot you the entire time. That thing's going to see you and he's going to clip you out at 400 meters and not care. That's the way it's going. And then you pull out the Strum Tiger. Well, Strum Tiger, what is this, 80 millimeters of side armor? Yeah, 80 mils in the rear, on the sides. Guess what? Your little 25% bump up, maybe 1 out of 20 rounds might actually penetrate the side of this thing, or the rear of this thing, from the Vigilant, which means this would be the go-to tank to play. But pulling out the Waffle, even with the redo on the top armor here, this is what, only 60 millimeters of effective armor? 50 millimeter side armor. What's the outskirt? 5 millimeters on the top. If you want to HE this thing, you still can't HE it. You just have to hit the roof. But the sides are 50. And now, you know, you pull this out because you just unlocked it because you know that they buffed the armor on it. And you finally grinded out that entire tech tree. And the first thing that you see on the field is this. And it kills you faster than the Waffle can kill in E5. And the Waffle was the fastest kill time before this came out. Whenever it comes down to it, Waffle was a monster. And now this thing kills them. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to see Tyrans be put in their place for once by something, but it takes something overpowered to kill something overpowered. AVREs, they're the same way. You know, you got your 50 millimeters of side armor, but you do have a lot of spaced armor, so that kind of does absorb the high explosives that hit you. It does kind of negate a little bit of the penetration that comes into the 50 millimeter hyper angle armor in the back here. So you got your 20 millimeter sides. If he's firing at you straight on, he needs to make sure that he is specifically aiming within this general area. Anywhere else, and you're going to lose that penetration and probably not cause any damage inside your Vigilant against the Aviary. So there's that as well, because Aviaries are just toxic, overpowered, completely annoying. Same thing about the Chieftain right here. If we take a look at the armor viewer, well, Chieftain, you have the open slit right here. You got the spaced armor, a little bit of a slit in between where it's 50.8 millimeters of effective armor, 38 millimeters of side armor. Lower plate's like, what, 76? Yeah, 76. So shooting the lower plate of this, it is at a slight angle, so it's not going to be 76. It's probably going to be like 85, 90 millimeters of effective armor. So like you see it coming over a hill, that's pretty much where you're going to be shooting. Not to mention the Regal Dorn. There's a clip that someone brought up to me because they were playing their beautiful itty bitty little toxic Vigilant tank. He was playing on Lakeville. He sent me a message and he said that he was able to kill a Regal Dorn because he watched me talk about this tank on a live stream one day. And he said he was able to clip out the entire bottom section down here with his Vigilant, and he was able to kill a Regal Dorn in about 3 seconds because of that one spot on the bottom. He had to be about 25 meters away is what he was saying, but he managed to kill it. And that is kind of funny to me. I was giggling at that whenever he mentioned it. Originally, you see one of these coming over a hill. You want to aim for the drive bay right here. I have to actually look at the actual overview. Aim here down inside this general area because this is the weak spot on the tracks on the inside. From the front, it's going to be about there down within this general area. Going over the armor viewer, jumping into what is it, 175? Yeah, 175. I'm a little bit low, so it's a little bit higher than that. We'll do a copy right here, so you can get a little bit of a better idea in the general area that you need to hit from the front. Back to overview. There you go. You align the bolt on the left side. You can shoot pretty much anywhere on the top of the bolt and down, and you should be okay to hit that. So, yeah, that's what I do. I get irritated, and now, I'm to the point where I have other games that I play. For instance, the last 2 months, I've put over 500, 600 hours into Elite Dangerous, and I transferred my account from console to PC. So it's like I have 500 hours in PC, but I have over 5,000 hours in console that I transferred over to PC. So I have a lot of extra stuff. I got a fleet carrier. I got to make sure I log in and grind out some more credits to make sure my fleet carrier doesn't get deleted randomly one day. It's got 2 billion credits sitting on it, so it's going to be there a while with a weekly upkeep of 23 million. So it's going to be there for a whole year if I leave it. So I'm to the point in this game where the only thing I can recommend for the player community to actually do is make a Discord. Join the official World of Tanks Discord and file complaints. Start upvoting on things that you actually believe in. Give it a thumbs up, give it a 100% up, whatever the heck they call it over on the Discord now. Because if we do that, that's all we have to do in reality. Because if we do it correctly, we can force Wargaming to see our point of view by that point. Because now they're seeing that, hey, the players are being very serious right now, that we are actually extremely irritated with everything that you're adding into the game. Now, I understand that this will take some time for them to work it out and do it correctly, because they already have contracts in place. They already have things coming up that are planned out that they need to get sorted first before they go on some other grand venture. So the possibility of it actually working out is maybe within a 6-month time frame to maybe an 8-month time frame, depending on how far out they're doing things and everything else. But the way I see it is that currently the player base is not happy. A lot of people believe that they're trying to force us in the Cold War. And to be honest, Cold War, in my opinion, is just trash. No one can change my opinion on that. I believe it is serious trash that just I will never play. If I want to play Cold War, guess where I'm going to go play Cold War? I'm going to log into War Thunder, because at least on War Thunder, I have fun playing it. On console, it's like, yeah, I'm 3 kilometers out, but I'm going to shoot you anyways. Over in War Thunder, it's like, yeah, I'm 3 kilometers out, but I can't see shit at all. There are so many trees in the way. There's so many things. There's giant hills in the way. Plus, there's cancer. You think sky cancer's bad? Wait till you get a freaking bomb dropped on your head behind a freaking rock underneath a bridge. Believe me, that's not fun. So, I've kind of made my peace with this. I've said what I wanted to say, and it's kind of nice to get it off my chest. But it's just that we need to kind of get the community to work together a little bit more and push towards the things that we actually want to see in game rather than letting them make up stuff. Because I'm telling you now, I believe the 249, in my opinion, this is just made up bullshit. I'm sorry. Like, this to me doesn't exist. This is not a World War II tank. Okay? And if we go into the description of this vehicle, 1955, 37 millimeter round, resulting in a resoluting gun. Double the T50 Vigilant. Featured 6 electronic rotated barrels. Okay, so now let's go take a look at the EBR. EBR, doesn't say the date on which the blueprint was made, because I'm pretty sure this is blueprint. The Tier 9 variant, however, was not a blueprint. Sheridans, these were actually used 1962. Okay, so 1962. Like, armored in January of 1959 and June of 1962. Motor Division. Division delivered the first vehicle prototype. Yes, the first vehicle prototype was a prototype. I can't remember if these ones are used. I know that the British have a car that they used a whole crap ton, which is the Recon car. And that thing's like actually kind of cool. Driving that thing around be kind of like feeling like a death casket, but that is what it is. So we have all this stuff in game, and then they keep on pumping in new tier 10 premiums. This one also makes silver, which is irritating in my eyes. So looking around at these light tanks, looking around at all the other tanks, it's like we have a barrel with a big gun. We got an M60 with a 105, same 105 as the M48 Patton, but with a better heat round. T95E6, this is a 120 millimeter. All right, so looking throughout this entire list, we kind of see the same lineup across the entire way, with 105 being like the average. And then I believe the smallest guns that you run into within this category is going to be 100 millimeters. Or you have this one, which is still a 100 millimeter. So we have all these guns, all this dynamic, balanced, dynamic combat simulations going on the entire time. And then we're looking at this, and we're going around, and then out of nowhere, we have this one random ass little bastard, coming out of nowhere. Vigilant. Chaos, thank you for the tank. Everybody, I hope you made it to the end. You can probably tell I'm a little bit upset about this, but it's the honest truth. Like, I want to see this game succeed. But the fact is, Wargaming doesn't want to see their game succeed. Wargaming wants to watch it burn and fall apart, because currently that's kind of where we're going. You know, if my retention is lost from a game that I've loved for years and I keep coming back to it, because guess what? This is a great pastime. Okay. Rather than trying to go down this entire different alley, make it a good pastime. Make it something that each day I log on to it, I actually feel okay. Because I'm getting to the point where spending money on games, it just feels like a waste of money anymore. If I log on to any other game in my Xbox, I can't play on them anymore because I canceled my Xbox Live. Same thing about Steam. Like, I'm even considering not buying games on Steam because I want to own physical copies and own my own physical media, because I'm getting sick of watching games come out with a whole new title and then watching it get shut down a couple years later to where everything that I have inside that game is useless. Most paid games have campaigns that you can enjoy. Live service, on the other hand, is becoming a hindrance to the gaming populace at the moment. Don't join that populace. Make it enjoyable. Have fun with it. Currently, not a lot of people are having fun with it. I know that whenever I play this game, I want to be able to take out my M60 and play it like I've played it every single other time. But currently, if I pull this out, I'm gonna get killed in 3 seconds if I make a single mistake. Even if I get YOLO'd, I'm not gonna be able to spot him before he's within the closing distance. Then once he's within the closing distance, I will take in the range of, what would you say, 13, 14 seconds? 7.16? Yeah, 14 seconds to kill him. He has 14 seconds to advance on me. That is one hell of an advantage in a 1v1 situation. Most games, they would consider that one of the most craziest DPS outputs out there. And I mean, that's comparing it to an M60 with a very decent DPS output. Anyways, everybody, thank you for watching. Make a Discord account. Go complain to Wargaming. I want to, but I don't feel like they listen. And the only way that I will contribute is if I see more people jumping in to do it themselves. Anyways, till next time, you guys have a great day, afternoon, night, whatever time it is for you. Haven. Signing off. Till next time.